Again, I'm reading this alongside the fine print by Lauren Asher right now. So this is going to be a dual book reading vlog update. It's just a week in my life of reading, which is 2 books right now. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on Happily Never After, stay tuned, and I can't wait to share it with you. Welcome back, guys. I already left Barnes & Noble. I just got home, but I'm just so impatient. I had to share with you the book that I picked up, and you already saw that from the previous clip, but I have Happily Never After by Lynn, and this just released today. Today is March 12th, and I'm already reading another book by Lauren Asher. Currently reading the fine print. And I was actually in the point where I was filming a video on that, but I think I may have to do a combination of what I'm reading. Both of them are very interesting. I think they're both romance, as well as Lynn Painter. She's pretty much a romance girl, but I'm so excited. I feel like this is just the pick-me-up that I needed. But before I head inside and kind of dive into starting a new entry in my reading journal for this book, and kind of sharing with you my experience reading it. Do I recommend it? Is it just as good as Betting on You, which is the last book that I read by Lynn Painter? If you haven't read that one, I highly recommend. Absolutely loved it. I actually did a reading vlog on that in December. So if you're interested in picking up that book but want to know like my thoughts on that, be sure to check out the Betting on You reading vlog video. I'll also link it in the description below. So, but anyway, back to Happily Never After. I'm just going to read the back of it to you. It says, their name, the objectors, their job, to break up weddings as hired, their dilemma, they just might be in love with each other. So when Sophie Steinbach finds out just before her nuptials that her fiance has cheated yet again. Okay, Lynn Painter, coming straight off first sentence with the spice. So before her nuptials, let me start over. When Sophie Steinbach finds out just before her nuptials that her fiance has cheated yet again, red flag, yet we're going to the altar. Okay. She desperately wants to call it off. But because her future father-in-law is also her dad's cutthroat boss, she can't be the one to do it. Her savior comes in the form of a professional objector whose purpose is to show up at weddings and proclaim the words no couple usually wants to hear at their ceremony. I object. During an anti-wedding festivities that night, Sophie learns more about Max, the objector's job. It makes perfect sense to her. He saves people from wasting their lives, from hurting each other. He's a modern day hero, and Sophie wants in. The two love cynics start working together, going from wedding to wedding, and Sophie's having more fun than she's had in ages. She looks forward to every nerve-wracking ceremony where they save the love-sick souls of the betrothed masses. As Sophie and Max spend more time together, however, they discover that their physical chemistry is off the charts, leading them to dabble in a little hookup session or two. But it's totally fine because they definitely do not have feelings for each other. Love doesn't exist after all. And then everything changes. A groom-to-be hires Sophie to object, but his fiance is the woman who broke Max's heart. As Max wrestles with whether he can be part to his ex getting hurt, Sophie grapples with the sudden realization that she may have fallen hard for her partner in crime. Okay. This sounds like a good one. I can already tell that I'm gonna love it. I'll definitely come back and give you a reading update. I do plan on reading this evening. Again, I'm reading this alongside the fine print by Lauren Asher right now. So this is gonna be a dual book reading vlog update. It's just a week in my life of reading, which is 2 books right now. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on Happily Never After, stay tuned, and I can't wait to share it with you. I love it. And if you haven't already, go ahead and add it to your cart, your Amazon cart, your Target cart. I will say this book, let me look at my receipt. I did go to Barnes & Noble. Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure this is why you read your receipts, guys. I went to Barnes & Noble today and the book cost $18. So I spent like $1.31 plus tax, $19. But I'm pretty sure when I checked the website before I picked it up, it said $16.20. So if you're interested in getting a deal on Happily Never After, Amazon does have it for $16.20, and I believe Target has it for $16.20 as well. That is the book price. If you prefer to shop at your local bookstore in your community, be sure to check out their book prices as well. Sometimes with new releases, I don't mind spending the extra buck or two, but I will be checking Barnes & Noble's website, and if it says $16.20, I may have to go back up there and get my little refund. It may be small, but every dollar is mighty, okay? So yeah, I'll come back and update you. Reading 2 books at once. I'm such a mood reader. And right now, I'm getting back in my romance area. I've taken a break on reading fantasy. I was reading the ACOTAR series, and I just finished A Court of Wings and Ruin. The next one that I'm going to read is the blue one. I think it's A Court of Frost and Starlight. I'll definitely update you on my thoughts about that one. But as of today, we're reading romance. So stay tuned, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. So, quick update. Since I pulled up my phone real quick and I saw that I still had the Barnes & Noble webpage still up. If you are a Barnes & Noble member, you get the additional 10% off, and you'll get the book for $16.20 versus me. I'm not a member. I got it for $18 plus tax, $19, which isn't too bad. I feel like some books, let's say there was a book on sale for like $15 online, but in store it's like a markup of like $22, $25. I prefer to just get that on Amazon. You know what I mean? It just depends on your preference. If you're impatient, if you're excited to get to reading and just want to physically get it in hand. I'm not a big fan of having, you know, all these rewards or subscriptions. I don't need Barnes & Noble I don't need to be a member at Barnes & Noble. I personally don't think I would get the most use out of it. And I'm not trying to like have them upsell me on books. You don't need it. I don't know. That's just a rant. Let me stop. I'll come back to you when I've actually started reading Happily Never After, and we'll continue on with this video. All right, I'm back with an update on the second book that I'm reading for this week, and that is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, and this is part of her Dreamland Billionaires series. I've never read a book by Lauren Asher before. I believe there was another YouTuber, Alexandria, who mentioned this in one of her book hauls, so I randomly added it to my cart and finally got around to reading it. It focuses on 2 main characters. The male character's name is Rowan. The female character is Zahra. Zahra is also Armenian. And I'm going to read to you the little blurb on the back. So it starts off with Rowan. It says, "I'm in the business of creating fairy tales, theme parks, production companies, 5-star hotels. Everything could be all mine if I renovated Dreamland. My initial idea of hiring Zahra was good in theory, but then I kissed her. Things spiraled out of control once I texted her using an alias. By the time I realized where I went wrong, it was too late. People like me don't get happy endings, not when we're destined to ruin them." And then Zahra's perspective: "After submitting a drunk proposal criticizing Dreamland's most expensive ride, I should have been fired. Instead, Rowan Kane offered me a dream job. The catch? I had to work for the most difficult boss I've ever met. Rowan was rude and completely off limits, but my heart didn't care, at least not until I discovered his secret. It was time to teach the billionaire that money couldn't fix everything, especially not us." So it's a cute little romance book. I'm enjoying it so far. I will say Rowan's character, I'm still trying to figure him out. I am on page 152, and that is chapter 20. One thing that you'll find if you do end up picking this book to read, you'll see that it goes back and forth between Rowan and Zahra's perspective. Right now, being that I'm on page 152, there's a lot of back and forth banter. So Rowan, he ended up giving Zahra a creator job. And with these creators, they're supposed to help with the image of Dreamland. And Dreamland can be, you can think of Dreamland similar to like a Disney World. Rowan has a certain amount of time to revamp it per his grandfather's request that had recently passed. Rowan grows so fond of Zahra. Not only does he find her attractive, there's sexual tension, sexual chemistry. He even kissed her. He even went so far to kiss her. I don't want to give you too much information on what led up to Rowan kissing Zahra. That's something for you to find out. Rowan he's a boss, but he's super invested in Zahra, and through his investment of getting to know her, he realizes how funny she is and how smart she is to create a vision that can potentially help Dreamland. One of the things that he's doing, he's messaging her as another employee at Dreamland, that his name is Scott. So as he's messaging Zahra, getting to know her, having funny, playful banter, similar to banter that you may have with someone that you meet on a dating app or just talking to them casually. He's talking to Zahra, but little does she know that it's Rowan. So you can already expect there's going to be some type of big blow up when she realizes that Scott is actually Rowan. I have no guesses as to what will happen, but I really do enjoy how the author actually like lists out, I don't know if you can see, it switches from me and Scott, them texting. Again, Scott is Rowan. He's pretending to be another employee at Dreamland, and it's really interesting. I can't say I'm like super in love with Rowan's character. He has his moments and I'm just like, he's kind of cute, or he's mysterious. At this point, he just seems like a badass. Like, I can't say like it's attractive to me, but for Zahra, she's feeling it. I do like her character to a certain extent, and it's taking me a while to like fully love these characters like I do in other romance books, but haven't made it to the middle point of the book just yet. So I'm going to give it a few more pages. I do plan on giving you an update tomorrow on my thoughts. Bye. Quick update. It's the next day. I'm still reading The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I'm on page 365, and it's at the part where Zahra and Rowan are going through their own, I guess, first fight, but it's when she's at her worst. And I have to read one quote to you that I'm currently at in the book. He takes a step back at my outburst. Breathing hurts, but I don't care. Every decision you've made up until this point has all been because you care. Because deep down, I think you love me, even though you're too damn scared to admit it. My voice cracks and I let out a wheeze because my lungs struggle to cooperate. Love was never an option. If I made you believe otherwise, I apologize. I would never subject you to that kind of misbelief when I'm moving back to Chicago soon. And then she put, he might as well have slapped me. I'm just like, he brought it upon himself with how much he was chasing her. And at first she was kind of pushing him away, but she embraced it. And now he's just like, it's too much. Yeah, I probably will finish this maybe within the next hour. I'll give you my final thoughts before I continue reading my next book, Happily Never After by Lynn. As you can tell, I'm a little bit under the weather. And I'm trying to correct that. So I'm going to go make some tea and I'll give you an update once I finish the fine print. off for me. I was at an odd point where I didn't know if I really was invested with the characters, but Rowan has truly grown on me, and I just finished reading the part about his vision for Dreamland and what his plans are to do, which is different from what his brothers had thought, that he was going to take on a more active, higher role in the company. And it's just so sweet. I just finished reading The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, and it blew me away. I will give it a 3.5 stars. And 3.5, I want people to know a 3.5 star for my rating is very high. Oh my God, I hate the way my voice sounds. The way it ended, it really tugged at my heartstrings. I loved it. I recommend this to anyone who's looking for a romance. And this has quite a bit of spice. Probably not as much as Icebreaker. I gave spice out of 5. I would say it was 2.5 to 3. But I loved the story, and I think I might read Terms and Conditions. I'm not even sure what that book is about. This is book 1 in the Dreamland Billionaire series, so I'm not sure what the second book covers, but I think I might add it to my TBR list. So stay tuned for a future video if I do decide to read the next book. I'm gonna drink some tea and watch The Bachelor. All right, talk to you. Hello everyone. I wanted to come back and share with you the verdict on these 2 books. I finished reading The Fine Print by Lauren Asher and Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. I hope you can tell just by the smile on my face which one was the winner. And as far as which book I absolutely ate up and could not get enough of, that was Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. But The Fine Print, I will say, surprised me towards the end. Both of them were really enjoyable. I ended up really liking Rowan's character, the male lead in this book, a lot towards the end. I just like the writing that the author had put for him and what he was saying, what he wanted for him and Zahra. So, that was really cute. I really love the ending of this book, but Happily Never After. Reading this really just put me back to, it really made me reminisce about how I got started reading romance. And yeah, like Lynn Painter, she's that girl. She's that girl. She is at this moment my #1 rom-com romance writer. Any book that I read by her, I completely fall in love with. And I have to say, this compared to Better in the Movies, I feel like they're at the same level. Better Than the Movies, it gave young adult. This one can read more like an adult genre romance book that's like lighthearted and funny. She writes really good banter. I loved it from beginning to end. So basically, Sophie Steinbeck meets Max. He was the objector to her wedding. She didn't want to get married to this guy. Her friend hired him to help her get out of a bad situation. She eventually meets him. They form a friendship bond, essentially. And you'll read, those of you who, before I continue with the goods that I'm about to share with this book, go ahead and add this book to your cart. Run, don't walk to your local bookstore or Barnes & Noble, wherever you pick up books, and get this. It will not disappoint. This was really fast read for me. Again, I love this book. It's 5 stars. And back to Sophie and Max. Once they meet, they become friends. Soon, they both go to a wedding as the objector and the objectress. They help other people with their situations. And actually, Max leaned on Sophie for her help to stop his friend from marrying a horrible woman that was cheating on him. I actually wanted to read to you, because I don't think it's a spoiler. You're going to read many instances of them going to weddings. He had to hook Sophie as far as like, hey, I need your help. you know, they don't need a man to step into this position. They need a woman to object in the wedding, where they say, does anyone have any, if there's anyone there who don't believe these two should join hands in holy matrimony, speak now, forever hold your peace. So Sophie needed to be the one to object to a marriage, and that marriage was Max's friend, TJ. You're going to read about that, but I wanted to read you a snippet. I'm trying to find it. But she does mention here that could be a fun side gig, being the objectress to your objector. One of the things that he mentions to Sophie while presenting the idea to her in a Starbucks cafe is, try and remember the way you felt the morning of your wedding while I tell you this, okay? So he said his friend TJ is a kindergarten teacher with a heart of gold. When he was deployed with the National Guard for 6 months, his girlfriend Callie cheated on him, but he forgave her and ultimately proposed a year later. And Sophie automatically calls him a fool, but she has to keep listening to TJ's story. Fast forward to last weekend, he's at his bachelor party, and one of his groomsmen goes to the washroom and leaves his phone on the table. TJ accidentally sees a text from Callie, and Callie is the woman he's going to be marrying. And she's like, oh my God, she's cheated on him with the groomsman. And then he proceeds, he says, nope, the groomsman is her brother. But the text says to keep TJ out late because she wants to have a goodbye with Ronnie, the guy she cheated with. Not only that, but she says, try to get a pic of TJ with the stripper so I have something to hold over him. Buy him a lap dance. And Sophie's like, no. And when I read that, I was like, what in the world? This girl is twisted. So then Max proceeds and says, so TJ says he's sick and bails, getting home in time to log in to her iPad and see all of the texts with her and Ronnie. And it was explicit content. I'll let you read that. Towards the end, you learn that TJ is devastated, but what can he do? Callie's 3 older brothers are scary redneck cops in their small town. Her uncle is a sheriff, and her dad holds the mortgage on TJ's house. Nevertheless, Max needed someone to help out his friend TJ, and why not Sophie? She kind of relates to the story and doesn't want anyone to go through that feeling or be locked into a situation that they know in the end won't work out so well. I really adored this book, and this is something that I plan on reading again, and more than likely I'm going to give this out as a gift to a few of my friends. It was such a great read. I highly recommend you check out Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. And also I would like to plug The Fine Print. Both of them were really good, but I will say I did love reading this so much more. I read it super fast. It was such good banter. If any of you have seen the movie Anyone But You, I literally pictured Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney as these characters because their banter was really funny in that movie. And this book, I can just imagine Glenn Powell in the role of Max. So yes, definitely pick this one up if you're looking for a romance. I also read Lynn Painter's previous release last year. That was Betting on You. I did end up recording a reading vlog for that, so I'll definitely link that in the description below. So add both of these to your TBR list. I look forward to coming back here and sharing with you the next book that I plan on reading, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!